Hey guys, this is your boy Leroy Hodgson, the pen in Pen Mason, and we are here again for another episode of Talking Chess. I said it in our last episode with Dr. Kobna Edupoku, but we'll be bringing on the president of the GCA, Philip Ameku, and he is right here beside me. Oh God, I'm so glad he was here.
Yeah, trust me.
No, sorry, Mason is also here as well.
Behind
Manuel,
the camera,
my brother,
watching everything
behind the camera and watching everything as they go. He will also be bringing on his thoughts and comments. So stay tuned, and we will bring to you what is going on. But first off, let's just talk. Philip, let's talk. How did you get into chess, and what made you become a professional chess player?
Yeah, let me first of all say thank you for inviting me. Pen and Mason Chess Club or institution.
Yes.
Yes. Let me also commend you for the good job you are doing. It's rare to see people, trying to push less, common games like chess. So that will be a pat on your back. Yeah. Back to your question about how I got involved into chess. I think it's something that started way back when I was in, I think, primary school. And then I didn't know how to play it. I didn't have anybody around me. But while in school, I had a friend who brought a chessboard to school. And then I had a bit of exposure to it. But prior to that, I was exposed to Dame, Ludo, the household games, But chess, just caught my attention. And then ever since then, I've been trying to, find out more about the game and try to, improve in the game. Everything fascinated me, from the strategies to traps and all the tricks. It kept my interest alive for a long time. And then I went to Tues for my JHS. I continued over there. I was playing chess and Scrabble at that time. And then we went on to Persec, where there was also another vibrant chess club there. And I was proud to be associated with the club over there as well. And I met, some of the guys that we play with, like Carlton and Co, over there. Yeah. So it's been an amazing journey. I can go deep, but since this is your first question.
So you didn't have someone like Thompson. My brother met Thompson in his primary school days, 7th grade Princess Academy.
Yes.
And he introduced him to chess. So he didn't meet any
Don't mix it up. I knew chess before I met him.
Okay.
So you don't want to give Thompson the credit.
So I'm saying, of course, he taught me the strategic part of chess. Those windows chess that we were playing, we had no idea what we were just moving. Like, he taught me that, okay, there are principles involved in chess, right? So introducing is a different thing, but teaching me like strategy, yes, then he's the one.
Okay, all right. So you didn't have anyone like that?
Unfortunately, no. My route was a bit different. Especially in Persec, I was in the same dormitory, in the same house with a Russian called Kufe. And he wasn't like teaching me or something, but we were just playing. He started by beating me a lot.
But see, any memories?
Yeah. Similar to you, Mr. Philip.
Yeah.
The two people who used to train, they never played competitive, like in a well-noted tournament. They were called Aisa and Pulu, and they always used to play me like simultaneously. Like,
I was thinking more Javon.
They would alternate. No, it was in senior high school, so I would be playing chess games throughout the night, and I had a total less record that was over 100. I actually don't remember the exact number, but I know it was over 100. Just beating you over and over again. Yeah, so similar to you.
Yeah.
So this is something that always interests me. It seems like in Ghana, everybody seems to be self-taught. There wasn't really someone behind them. Like the current generation seem to have people behind them, like Mentors Chess, my brother for one. but you had nobody really behind you. You had to learn everything by yourself. And it's quite interesting to me that and you had nobody really teach, no coach. And I think that's an incredible achievement to get to the level that you have gotten, 1,900. Please, if I say 1,900, nobody laugh at me because I know it is, what is it?
1900.
1900.
Yeah.
I'm a noob.
It's the same.
It's fine.
It's the same. It's just playing with numbers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm quite interested in the fact that you were self-trained. Like, didn't it bother you? Didn't it, like, would you say it affected your development as a chess player?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Of course. You know, we cannot overestimate the importance of having a coach or a guidance as far as your chess development is concerned. In fact, it tells you how far Ghana chess has come.
Yeah.
Because at the time, you wouldn't have anybody going around like, hey, I'm a chess instructor or I'm a chess coach. You know, of course, if I had met someone like that, I would have clinged on to him, you know, to make sure I get the right knowledge. But let me say, you know, there's an aspect that even if you have a coach, you will still need to develop on your own, which is just playing many games. You know, your coach can tell you all the beautiful things in the world, but if you don't play many games, trust me, you'll be stuck, you know, at intermediate or wherever, however to say it.
Yeah. Please, what is intermediate level for chess?
Okay, I'm not so sure, but most often with the experienced players, they see like intermediate from 2000.
So that means Philip is not intermediate.
Yeah. No, the reason I say this is because I was watching a stream from John Bartholomew, and he was talking about this recent kind of chess channel, Hanging Pawns. I don't know if you've seen it or heard it. Yeah. And he said he's an intermediate 1900. And I was like, what do you mean by intermediate 1900? It's like he actually said that he's an average chess player, and I was looking at him like, do you know what it takes to get to 1900? Yeah, so I don't know. What's your take? Who do you think is intermediate in chess?
Okay, well, with my system of grading, I think intermediate is between, let's say, 1005 to 1008. I think anybody getting towards 2000 is advanced, you know, and you have a very, very small percentage of people, you know, when you look at the whole chess population in general, below 1% are above 2000. So if you are grading them, okay, 3 into 3 grades, definitely those above 2000 will be one grade, of course. The road to chess mastery is very long, so definitely there are different tiers, you know, to overcome. And you know, one thing about our rating, especially in Ghana or in Africa, is that you can easily underrate our ratings.
Yes, that is something my brother keeps telling me. He tells me that we are underrated, and I always look at it and I go think to myself, but then we go to the Olympiad, we face other countries, and we still get battered. So how are we underrated? I also asked that to Kwabena Edibu, but I want your opinion as well. Like, how are Ghana underrated? If we can go to Olympiad and still, we were seeded at a particular level, but we still sometimes seem to fall underneath that seeded level as well.
Yes, of course. Now, all what I said notwithstanding, we are not professional players. And when it comes to tournament preparation, we don't do our best. There are a lot of things that go into tournament preparation, psychology, diet, you know, a whole lot of training regime that ideally we should undergo. I think this year or last year would be the first time we even had a coach assigned to us for at least a month or two, you know, prior to the event. But we hardly, you know, do that. We mostly spend our energies trying to get resources to make sure we at least go for the competition. So I think using the Olympiad standard, we may not do our best. In fact, when you look at the games, I'm sure Dupuku will tell you his experience. Like games that we are winning, I mean, engines behind us and all that. And then you find out that just one slip, lack of concentration, and then we lose the games. And me, for one, I watch people's games and go like, no, this game, I'm above this.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah, but you see them with very nice ratings and stuff. Yeah, so I think the environment also counts.
Yeah.
If we found ourselves in a country where we are surrounded with higher rated players, I think it would really help.
So, speaking as a GCA president, what do you think needs to be done? What do you think you can do to get Ghana chess to the level that we all believe it should be?
Can you break the question down, because taking us to the level we are talking about
The
is
level you
very wild.
Okay,
It's very wide. Maybe you can narrow it down to, let's say, maybe strength-wise, population-wise, and all that.
So strength-wise, we get to, let's say, probably the average Ghanaian player is around 2,000 rated.
Yes, I think in order for that to be done, we need to put in a lot of work as individuals, because, like I alluded to the last time, playing chess takes a lot of individual effort. Now, when it comes to individual effort, sometimes people just don't have motivation to train. I mean, you can bring all the prize funds in the world, and their strength will still be where they are. I mean, we've had prize funds of $10,000 and stuff in Ghana here.
Yeah,
it didn't change anybody's strength. We always wait, and then the foreigners will take the money. Yeah, so I think people need to self-motivate, and clubs need to start meeting. Clubs need to put, their players together and helping each other. I mean, learning from each other. That way is going to go a long way, and that's been one of our challenges. The activity of the clubs. We have a few clubs, but sometimes they are not active, and that's the only way we can improve, because there's no, we just had a coach for 2 months. We don't have a coach all the time, so a lot of work will come back to the individuals, on how to improve.
Yeah, but they are all semi-pros. They also have their work they have to do. They don't have that time to say, you know what, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to play chess. Let's say, how much? 6 hours a day?
6 hours a day.
6 hours a day. I'm going to sit down, play standard time control 6 hours a day, just so that I can keep up my strength, or just so that I can improve on my strength. And that's a problem, right?
Yes.
So,
yes.
Is that a question?
No. I was just making a statement.
Yeah, what I wanted to ask is actually that my brother and I discussed Ghana chess a lot, and one of the things we were thinking was, I can't say I understand because I've not seen the sheet before, but of course there are financial constraints, but we're thinking that would it be possible to bench like the old guy, like maybe, okay, you're not really old, but you, Passport, and Kwanda and the rest, and give them like little stipends to hold, let's say, 4 or 5 training camps throughout the year.
Yeah, because I thought we agreed that was kind of
We agree, but I want to know from
not feasible.
we were thinking, but what if like he's here, so he has the data? You get it? So like, I mean, it's, if we just leave it as speculation, it's just speculation. But we have the opportunity to ask, I mean, the one with the portfolio about it. So, what do you think? Would that be possible? Maybe like 4 or 5 like camps.
Well, I know all the players you're talking about. It's not possible. Why? Because they are busy with other stuff. I mean, they are working professionally. They are not into chess professionally. So definitely it would be a problem. But when it comes to, let's say, maybe weekend meetups and stuff, that is possible. Yeah, but once again, we need to, segregate into our various clubs to have it consistently. If clubs meet once a week, it's a step in the right direction. Although, I mean, more work can be done, but you can start once a week, or let's say once a week, and then midweek you have an online meeting or session. I think it would go a long way.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. You are aware of the BCA, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and I think the BCA themselves have brought quite a number of people, and basically they are doing what you are saying. So maybe you are a secret advisor, but are you like indirectly involved with the activities of the BCA?
No.
No, but
He's early chess.
no, because No, I know he's early chess, but he's still president. So it's not like what do you call it, conflict of interest kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like everything you say is exactly what they do, and it proves and it brings like reasonable results. So yeah, I agree with you. So why do you think that I'm putting pressure on you too much, but why do you think that the clubs aren't doing so? Is it that the heads of the clubs are the same ones that are busy, or that the clubs are just like temporal for when we have like team championships? Like what do you think is the reason why the clubs are not so effective? Because okay, I'm sorry, I don't have too much details about this, but I used to be like an avid member of Dreamfort, and Dreamfort seemed to always have a meeting. But again, I'm not so sure, but it's not as much as it used to be in the past, unless of course I'm wrong. Yeah. So what causes that kind of fallout of the clubs? What do you think is the reason?
Yeah, I think clubs, like any other institution, need to be structured, and it should go beyond individuals, because you have a case where if there's only one person pushing the club, and that person becomes indisposed or travels or maybe relocates, then the whole club dwindles down. So I think the club should have structures. If there's a club manager, it should be professional or semi-professional. You should have that. You should have a structure. You need to have a plan on and how to follow, these training models and all that. So I think clubs should have structures, and clubs should also be profit-oriented.
Okay, yeah.
I'm saying this because a lot of times it comes down to motivation. Clubs should be able to raise their funds internally. And of course, I want to commend Nightmares for doing a great job. I'm sure we'll come to that tournament. I won't jump the gun. I won't jump the gun, but I think they are an epitome or an example of the few clubs that are able to raise funds internally and also get their own stuff going on. So once again, it rests, on the clubs.
Yeah, but what can the GCA do to help the clubs to stay active?
Okay, what I would say is that I know Philip has been very, very consistent with the club formation and club follow-up. For that I know he has been doing.
Yeah, but Philip is one man. I'm talking about the entire GCA.
Okay.
As in, what can the GCA do? Because Philip will leave one day, right? Mm-hmm. So what can the GCA itself do to make sure that these clubs stay open and stay active?
Yeah. So it's a very good question. We've tried many things, and we need to keep trying. And hopefully this Congress, myself and my team, we're actually trying to push a club-based GCA agenda at that Congress. And once the members buy into this idea, I think we'll go a long way. Now, just to give you a small insight into the project is, first off, we'll have the first point of contact for players is their clubs.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no need for you to be a member of GCA, because GCA does not offer you much unless you're in a national team or you're traveling or something like that. That's when GCA comes in. But let's say we are in a tournament and then somebody just walks in and goes like, oh, I like this game, I want to learn, blah, blah, blah. There's no need for Susu to take money from him. Rather, he should go to a club, pay money to the club, and then get trained. So we want members to disintegrate into their various clubs. Those who don't have any club at all should affiliate with a club. And once the clubs start getting the numbers and they pay dues to them, then they are in a better position to structure programs and also ensure that there's a coach or an instructor always helping, the players. And only if they qualify into the national team or they are playing national championships and stuff, that is when they will have to deal with the GCA. This is the same system that GFA and other.
But my problem with that is, what if a club, let me use Nightmares as my example, since they are very good at coming up with funds and all that. They are the ones coming up with most of the funds. Wouldn't you think that it leads to them having too much power in such a system?
when you say too much power, I don't understand you. Now,
As in, money brings power, does it
yes, of course, yes. But I mean, chess, you don't need too much money to get people training or to have a training system in place. You know, you can have all the money in the world, and my club will defeat your club. So I think it's more about, you know, human resource management and motivation. You know, that is what will entail, you know, as far as the clubs are concerned. Now, everything GC is going to do is going to be on a fair and quota based. So, for example, when it comes to national championship, we tell the clubs, okay, have your internal tournament, get us your best 5 players to come and compete for the nationals. You understand? We won't say Nightmares will have 10, Dreamfort will have 2. No, we wouldn't do that. We always say, okay, every club is bringing 5. It's 5-5. You understand? And whatever benefits, for example, when it comes to Congress, let's say each club is supposed to bring 2 delegates or 3 delegates. It's going to be flat across board. You know, we wouldn't indulge in any form of discrimination. And all clubs will feel empowered to, you know. Moreover, when, for example, you find yourself in Nightmares, you see a lot of, because there's money, a lot of good players go there, right? And now I say, okay, it's still top 5 I need. So most players realize that no, they won't get selection in Nightmares. Of course, the competition is good for us, but some of them will, you know, switch camps into other clubs and then help build those clubs as well. You know, after some time, you realize that the system will
Because you have to start planning for PMChess.
PMChess
For a club,
Okay, yes. So since you brought that up, I think this will help everybody out there. But maybe there's some people who are interested. So how does one form a club in to join a club in Ghana?
Okay, so joining a club is very simple.
Join and create.
Joining or creating or forming a club is very simple. The system that we had at the moment, or the status quo up to this point, is that you needed 5 dues paying members of GCA to minimum to actually come together to form a club. Yes. 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 So of course, the law is not being enforced in the latter, if not. But of course, we want to now make things more formal. You understand? Because there's a thin line between being strict and also collapsing everything. You understand? So we give people the opportunity to explore, to come up with their own unique ways of, you know, doing things. And once they're on their foot or they're on their feet, then we can start, you know, ensuring that standards are followed. So basic, you need minimum 5 GCA members to come together. Then let's say you need a minimum of, let's say, 5 chess boards, maybe 1 or 2 chess clubs, minimum. You know, in this day and age, you don't really need a venue, but if you have, it's a plus, because chess, you can meet online. You understand? So we don't want to be strict on like having a venue like Dreamfort used to have. You understand? So even if you just assemble on a WhatsApp group, you share puzzles, you train, you monitor each other's progress, it's enough to be a club, you know. And some, of course, meet at public areas and stuff. So that is also fine. Yeah, so those are the main things. You need, let's say, a coach, or a coach in quote, even if it's not professional, you know. So once this 4 criteria is met, you know, it just keeps the ball rolling, and then you realize that players will be coming in, new players will be coming out, and all that.
Okay, so let's move on to the nationals, because I really want to talk about the nationals. It seems like we spoke to Dr. Kovna Ameku, and he said it seemed there was the nationals were poorly organized, and because of that, he was actually considering not even participating in the competition in the first place. What exactly went wrong?
Yes. Well, you know, GCA is not there yet as far as, you know, independence is concerned. In other countries, they have their own chess hall, you know, and these logistics actually go a long way to affect the level of organization. You know, it took the timely intervention of Professor Danu to ensure that nationals actually went on as planned. So I don't blame the participants at all. You know, we've had nicer nationals, you know, in the past where there were no issues. Of course, there are always issues when it comes to nationals. And I want to just assure them that we are exploring alternative venues as far as, you know, hosting nationals is concerned. This particular festive season was a very busy one. We had a stadium taken away from us, the National Theatre. I mean, all the places that we usually have our competitions were taken away from us, and we had to resort to, you know, the College of Physicians, and you know, to actually make that event possible. Yeah.
But speaking about venues, don't I believe Ghana, we currently have 2 chess halls, or if I'm not mistaken, that's the Dream Fort and then Prof. Reverend Tando's, I've forgotten the name of the place.
West Africa Academy.
Yeah, Academy for Chess. Weren't they feasible? Weren't they available?
Yeah, when you look at the size, it could host a phase 2, but not a phase 1. We actually looked at all those possibilities. So Reverend, for example, was on standby to host the phase 2 because that was just 10 players. He was on standby to host, you know, until Prof came in with his offer.
Speaking about the phase 1, one thing I noticed was that I'm always going to say this because I don't want people to think that I think the players there were not good enough. But I felt like the regulars that we normally see, we didn't see them. Why didn't we see them? Is it because of the problems with the venues and not knowing what exactly was going on? What exactly happened? Did they all let you know that players like Clinton, Jamina, who else? I can't think of the top of my head.
I think David Ameku too was on the up and coming at some point. Ameku,
a number of them we didn't really see them, but I felt like despite that, all of that, it gave opportunity for some of the young stars to go into the phase 2. And according to Dr. Edupoku, they really gave them a tough ride as well. So it was still a tough phase 2. But I felt like, why didn't the regulars come?
Yes. Well, the players you named, like Clinton, for example, he already said he was not going to play for a long time ago. Likes of Ajavon have been off the scene for a long time.
For a very long time.
David Ameku has also not been consistent at tournaments. So, I mean, with GCA, we deal with whoever is ready and available. You understand? We make sure, okay, you hear the news, you hear the tournament, if you're ready, you come. And of course, those who came, trust me, were very good players. When you look at the phase 2, the least point was 3 points. 3 points. Yeah. The weakest player had 3 points. Exactly. That tells you nobody was a walkover in that tournament. Yeah. So we should rather focus on the up-and-coming players and give them the limelight.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things that we are quite interested in. For someone like Dave, very good performance. Yeah. And this guy, actually, he's not even a young guy, but all of a sudden he just comes in Frimpong smart. I did not expect it. Sincerely, actually, I was on stream one day and someone was like, oh, so what do I think about the people playing in the phase 2? I was like, if what I said was that if Maxwell and Paul don't beat Dave qualifies. And then someone was like, what about Frimpong? I said, he has no chance. That's literally what I said. So all of a sudden, he just gets what, and then I think he was 5th or something. Then in the Tema Classics, he got 3rd. I was like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know, like how he just it was So for that it was.
I've been absent from chess for a long time, so I don't know who Frimpong smart.
You're out for a very long time, but he's a recent person, like very recent, very recent, and just comes and shocks everybody. Yeah. So indeed, I'm actually in the agreement that it gave people the chance gave people who we thought would not do much the chance to shine. Though I'm just slightly disappointed that we didn't have more like of the new guys coming in. Since this was Jabochi, like Mauli, Mauto. Okay, Sako did not really. Arush Taka, who should stop attacking crazily. I'll say it till he learns what I'm saying. I used to be like that. You could ask Philip. Every single time I'm sacrificing material. Even if it doesn't make sense, I'll sacrifice material. But yeah, so I really wish they would have taken that opportunity to try and shine. And I mean, they would have had a very, very crazy tournament. So yeah, nationals wise, it was very. But what about you? My brother would have asked you this question. What was your most difficult game in the nationals? What game made you feel like quitting chess?
Quitting chess.
There's some games, even if you win, you just feel like, why did I waste my life playing this? Like, it's that annoying.
In the nationals? Okay. I would say, let's say the most annoying game to me was myself and Prof. Adanu.
That's okay.
Like, I was on the verge of winning the tournament.
Oh, really?
Yes, because I was just 1 point behind the winner.
Okay.
So I had Prof to play, and at that time we were at par. So I'm like, okay. So after Prof, then you understand. Then I was like, okay, my last round is like my real game of the day. Like, you understand? I thought Prof was a walkover. And the other, no disrespect to Prof, but of course, it's facts and figures. Looking at the trend and all that. And of course, I made sure I got my revenge at the Tema class. Yeah, so shout out to Professor Adanu, wherever he is. I think he made me sick up. You know, and players like that, you know, keep us moving, you know. You don't just sit on your aisle and think, okay, everything is okay. But you always need to, you know. And he actually took me back to some end game lessons.
Really?
Yes, he actually took me back. Like, the game was like opening through middle game was like, you know, easy for me. I was just going, and then I had positional advantage. I was like, okay, yeah, let's go to the end game and then we'll talk over there. And then I missed one little breakthrough he had.
Oh.
Good. So I was just playing because I had 3 pass pawns on the queen side. Uncontested pass pawns. His king was coming. You understand?
Yeah.
Then he had like 5-2 here, but my king was close enough. And then I wanted to just advance those pawns to a point where, okay, you know, but he was able to enter, you know, the pawns. And there's actually this structure, like this vein structure, that once the king sits in the middle, all the pawns are frozen. And then it comes down to the king side pawns.
Oh.
It was very interesting. He had some breakthrough on the king side with the H pawn.
I see.
But of course, I could defend, you know, but because I was playing fast, I was hoping, banging all my hopes on those king side pawns, and then he just created a passer, and then that was it. Yeah, so that was a very annoying game. Even though maybe I would be the national champion, you'd be interviewing me.
So I don't understand anything. Actually, I actually forgot to ask this question, but since this happened, I actually do want to ask this question.
Yeah.
Okay, I have failed in that aspect. Okay, I was once part of the team, but I've also failed in that aspect. But annotation and posting of games.
Oh yes, my brother hates that.
Like, you know, one of the things that I would like to really do on this channel is recaps. I don't know if you follow PMChess, right? Yeah, I would like to do recaps on tournaments. But sometimes I'll be like, Mr. Sodaris, can I please get the pictures of the games? He said, okay, no, I don't want to send it to you. The day ends. The next day, I'm like, can I get the tournament? And sometimes what happens is that by the end of the tournament, you just get 5 games and it's never uploaded again. So, is there a team, or is there not a team that deals with annotation of games? That's basically like, I've worked with this, so I know the problem. For example, sometimes when players are excited, they stop writing for like 3 moves, and a lot of things are missing. So I understand where that issue comes from. But like,
what system do we have in place for the annotation of games? If you can explain.
Yeah, I think we've spoke about that extensively, but it comes down to manpower.
Oh, that's true.
Because you find out that most of the GC executives are the same people playing.
Yeah.
So there are no free hands. I mean, they have to also attend to the tournament because it's live. So you realize I don't have enough hands to actually, do some of these things. So I will entreat you guys.
I should come back.
Since you are the media guys and you want to publicize the game,
Yeah.
I think it's very good because the traditional media guys come around and then they take the information they can take.
Yeah, exactly.
But you guys can actually go on their score sheets and stuff.
Exactly.
So it presents an opportunity for you guys to actually take this up, and then you publicize it on your platforms and whatnot. But of course, the games are also available with Mr. Solar Race.
You have to go to his place.
Yes, if you can just go to his place, you'll get all the games.
From time immemorial.
19, whatever.
My goodness.
Yes, because I remember calling Dr. Akudaze to ask who has won the most nationals, and he was not sure. I think he called you, then he went and called Hasford to find out exactly who had won the most, and he told me the answer. And when I asked him, okay, so how many has he won? He was like, we have to call it. So I was like, Charlie.
I think
he. Oh, so I was going to say that he actually drifted up. We were talking about notations. He went into history.
Yeah, I'm talking about history. History is no record.
Yeah. That's also one thing that our predecessors did not do well. As far as record keeping is concerned, I think every administration should make sure they archive their records very well, so that if people want to dig deep into these facts and figures, they can easily come across them. But it's not like nationals was really organized in the past. I mean, when you look at, chess started around 1975? I think the first national was like 84 or 5 thereabouts.
Oh, really?
Yes. And then we had a very active chess scene till 92. The 92. Then it's like chess collapsed. There were no tournaments. Just once in a while they organized some open tournaments, but no nationals.
Oh, okay.
We didn't have the junior nationals also going on. So we realized that there was a whole development gap, until the likes of, Most Papo, Aaron Papo, Mr. Thompson, Akudazi came on the scene to sort of revive, the chess scene. Of course, the leadership was also, filled with similar, ups and downs. We have presidents who just disappear,
I was not that.
Yes. So it's like, okay, they want someone to be president. Okay, you are the president. Okay, yeah. Then you do 1-2 tournaments, and then you realize that the president is nowhere to be found, and then they have to now, inquire, and then now come and say, okay, let's get a new president. And so it's either a coup d'etat or you are taking someone's place. So it drags.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing I would like to talk about when it comes to the nationals once again is the female division. I just don't understand why and what happened for us not to have a female division at the nationals last year. What happened?
Yeah, I think for the past 5 years or so, we've always had female nationals.
Yeah.
And that has not been the case in the past. So I was also saddened that we actually dipped, as far as the women category is concerned. And I don't want to sit here and be shifting blames. I believe more in a system that is foolproof. So we realize that the system we're actually running has some lapses, and looking at the demography, the numbers, you realize that the demographics, I meant to say, when you realize that we don't have enough female players in general in Ghana. So instead of making a tournament invitational, rather make it open so that we capture more numbers. So that's what we want to do going forward. We'll make their tournament open. It doesn't necessarily have to follow the men's format because the men are many and we need a rigorous way to come up with the best players. So in the case of the women where there are not many, we want to make it open. And now why I want to say that is you realize that we had some unknown female players expressing interest.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the already established players, let's say the Olympiad team, they were all, having one thing or the other to do. You understand? So, like I said earlier, we want to push those who are hungry. We want to push those who are, somebody has trained at home. He wants opportunity. So why not? We'll open our doors, and we definitely are going to host the women event either in February or March.
Yeah.
I think March.
You heard about that, yeah?
Yes, we'll do it in March, and then we'll open it up, and then we'll get some new players who will also get on the rating ladder, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah, so, sorry, I was trying to bring up something. So, I was in our conversation with Edupuku, we're talking about drive and motivation. You've said motivation yourself many times. What do you think we can do to motivate the female population? Because I, for one, I realized that the moment a female enters into the chess community, it's not like the way we joke about it that you want to date the girl per se. No, like they are literally interested in raising the girl up. I remember Hasford approached Lady and gave her some books. Lady and Jijo, he gave them books. Consistently, he would be helping them analyze their games. I think even you personally, you took interest in one of them, yeah. So people are willing to train them, but in terms of motivation, what do you think creates the lack of motivation? And how do you think we can keep them motivated?
Yes. So once again, it's a very delicate, area of sports development in general, not necessarily chess. And last year at the Olympiad, I attended the FIDE Women's Commission meeting. Yes, and then they applauded me for actually coming because women chess has been something I've been trying to figure, like a system that can produce a lot of female players, and it's actually not easy. Of course, they say women are from what? Venus.
Men are from Mars.
Men are from Mars. So I'm not the best person to actually, understand everything about, women development. So I went to actually hear from experts, and people sharing their experiences and all that. And it was a very interesting this thing. Yeah, so one thing we need to include in our, let's say, executives is women organizer. I think it's very key. You need somebody who will be there just for women, to put them together, motivate them. If somebody is doing that on a regular, it will add something. But of course, I'll still need the clubs to actually, help with the women because women like attention. And if you don't give them attention, then they leave. So I think it's something that applies in chess as well. So I want to believe that if the clubs are active, we have more people to attend to the female players, of course, as well as the male players. And I think that will be the first steps we can take, whilst we do some further research. We have very nice, fascinating stories like the Polgar sisters.
Yeah.
But of course, that was from childhood. So you can't really compare that to our situation. We are also looking at supporting girls' schools, especially the SHS. We want to establish chess clubs, and we've approached Accra Girls, we've approached the one here, Mary's.
St. Mary's.
We've approached St. Mary's. We've been to Wesley Girls, and Christy is also working on Abri Girls. Then also, I think St. Monica's in Kumasi, Ola Girls in Ho. And I also spoke with Bismarck to find us one in the north, where we will just give them the equipment and then see how, we can increase the number of girls playing chess. So that's one thing we can watch out for. And we are hoping that this death of female players will actually.
But it seems like that's a lot of schools. Do you guys have the manpower to go to these schools on a regular basis to help them to learn? Because chess is not something that you learn, let's say, in a week or a month or 6 months. It's something that has to be continuously drilled into you. I have an experience because this boy tried to train me and I gave up after because how long did I last?
You gave up after 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, I gave up after like 2 weeks. So I only know how to move the pieces.
Yes, so for now we are just casting the net wide. You said many schools, but I don't think so. I've listed a very few number of schools.
But I'm trying to think about the number and then how many people you will be.
Yes, so teaching beginners chess, you don't really need the best chess players around. So we want to take advantage of that. People with average knowledge who live in the vicinity, and then we let them do the legwork. Of course, we'll give them the curriculum, we'll give them the equipment, and we'll also be liaising with the administration. So we make sure that, the system is in place. We'll definitely have people who will have personal interest or who will get that knack for the game, and then we'll take it from there. We'll bring them on the national scene, and we'll take it from there.
All right. So speaking about youth development and the fact that we had a lot of young players at this competition, something I have learned from the one sitting over there is that Ghana's rating ceiling is quite low and underrated. So if these young talents are to get to a higher level, they'll need to participate in international tournaments with players with higher ratings, so that they can, harvest the points from there. So, what's the GCA's plans after seeing such incredible talent at the phase 2 of the nationals? What's your plan for these youngsters and having them go out and get enough points and reach the level of IM? I want to see Ghana get it. No, not Ghana. Ghana gets its first GM. I want to say IM, and I remember that. Is there.
Yeah, of course. That's a very good one. But the good thing about the kids is that they have a K factor. They have a very enviable K factor of 40 until they are 18.
Wait,
oh really?
Good.
I thought it's like you have a game limit.
That's for adults.
Why did I?
So that's the good thing about them. So you see someone like, of course, Frimpong Smart is above 18, but he got 200 and how many points? 6 points from 2 tournaments. You understand? That should tell you the amount of rating that's up for grabs. And with the kids, of course, they have to travel, but a kid can easily become Ghana's number 1 if he's that good.
Yeah.
True.
Easily, because of the K factor.
True.
You understand? So they gain a lot from any kind of win they encounter. You understand? So they can easily make it, even within Ghana and without travel.
Yeah, do you get what he's saying?
Yeah, I get what he's saying.
Yeah, I actually didn't think about it like that. Yeah, so even if they are still playing around us, we can still get at least, I think, maximum of 21, 22, right?
There's no maximum.
No, as in like.
Yeah, potential.
Yes, there's no maximum to their potential. If they keep beating us, and because the K factor 40, each tournament they can get like 40, 60 per tournament.
Oh, okay. So
in the case of Smart, just like 100 points per tournament. And to get 100 points means to take me 2-3 years. You understand?
I was trying to do the math.
So if the kid is that good, a typical example would be Fee of Madagascar, and also Namibia's champion. What's the name? Sorry, I forgot the name. Namibia's champion. I remember I met him in 2015 in Zambia. At that time, you remember Rohan Ramchandani? Yes, I took him to a tournament, the African Youth And at that time, he had 4.5. No one had 4. But they were around the same, strength level. And he went on. He didn't stop. He went on. He played serious. Was traveling the world, and he suddenly just got a lot of ratings. He became, Namibia's, national champion for some time now, and he's been battling their current president. He's also been a national champion. So they are the top players now. Yeah.
That's nice.
It's very interesting over there.
Yeah. So that's
Oh, okay.
I actually didn't.
I also had no idea that.
For what I knew was that there's a limit on the K factor for a certain number of games, and after that, I reduce it. But I didn't know that for kids.
For kids, it's up to 18.
Till 18.
40 flat.
Really? Why did I grow up like this?
You should have been playing when you were 18.
Like when I was in university, I should have played more tournaments. I just 13.
Yeah, that was the best time to play because you don't lose much. You understand? But you gain a lot.
Oh, okay.
Philip, is there a way you can artificially boost my rating?
I can what?
Is there a way you can artificially boost my
He's still 1300. Oh.
Yeah, I understand.
Is there a way you can you do something about my rating?
Yeah.
One time I was talking to a parent who kind of knows about chess, and then she was like, "Oh, okay, how good are you?" I said, "Oh, I'm kind of like almost intermediate level." She said, "What's your rating?" I didn't open my mouth.
Use your chess.com rating.
Then she just Googles my name. So, well, if you can help me with that, let me know.
This is when you fall on your spiritual father. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I can manipulate the system. I think you can take it to the Lord in prayer.
There's no legal way to just.
No. I cannot do that.
Oh, we know that.
I don't have spiritual help.
Like, we know these guys are around this rating. It's just that he doesn't play tournaments. So let's give him an honorary rating. We have honorary titles. So we can give him honorary ratings. Okay, I've got an idea. Let's organize a FIDE tournament and all of you just dash me his rating. What do you think about that?
Yeah, sounds very good.
But I think we're still 40.
Your K factor is still 40.
I'm not playing 25 games.
Oh, so it means we can sacrifice one tournament for you.
Exactly.
Wow. Brilliant idea. Yeah, I think we can.
God.
So we can do it. You talk to me, you talk to the player, and you talk to everybody.
But you know that this is going on.
I'm not hiding it.
Well, if you also know this is going on, right?
Of course, that's what I'm saying. He has a lot of talking to do.
Do you remember the last time I made a statement and when I came to the tournament, everybody was looking at me like they're about to steal my rating. Oh, goodness.
Who was it that when you beat him, they was like, you're the PMChess guy.
Sakpa. So if he realized that it was me, he would have played harder. But I'm trash talking.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I've come to enjoy the streaming environment. It's really giving us an avenue to kind of reach out to people. One of the main aims of this channel, I keep on bringing this during the streams because I think it helps people know exactly what we are going to, is that chess.com is actually very interested in these kinds of things, right? And like Maurice Ashley, those guys, they're very interested in these kinds of things. So as this is going on and people are being published outside, it really helps the country more because, again, it's one issue. I think I've really spoken about it. It's not talking about sponsorships yet.
No, I'm not talking
about so I feel like if we could get sponsors outside, I think Maurice Ashley came and he spoke about, I forgot his name.
Oh, this kid, the one he sent with him to Tani, yes.
Yeah. So it shows that like they are willing to help and support. And Tani is doing wonderful things. I think he has won his first IM norm. Yeah. So it's also a good avenue for this stuff. And I'm very happy that with Philip because every single time, and when he sees me, he's always encouraging me. Like he really wants this thing to go.
I thought he was encouraging you to get a girlfriend, and that will help you get better at chess.
Yeah, but I'm no longer playing chess professionally. I'm no longer playing chess.
Why are you concerned about your rating?
For my business, it's not good for business. It's like,
not good for
you're going to send my child 1300 when I want my child to become a master now. Yeah, so it's wonderful. I'm really happy we got you here. Please, I'm not ending the
Yes, we have to talk about Tema Classics.
Then we'll go to Eko's favorite trivia side.
Trivia section.
Yeah. So get ready. Yeah,
What's about that?
Okay. So before they had 2 podcasts, that's you and Edupoku. So the highest is Edupoku with 1 out of 3.
1.5.
1.5 out of 3.
Really?
Yes.
You're asking trick questions or what?
We are asking
Trivia.
questions.
Just questions. Just questions.
Like I need to get it right.
Yes, you need to get the answer correct.
So like a quiz.
Yes, like a quiz.
So we'll get there. So I think back to you.
So let's talk about the Tema Classics. 19,000 Ghana cedi prize pool compared to the nationals, and it's something that has been like I've been thinking about. Ghana nationals, the prize pool isn't really that attractive, but the Nightmares was able to come up with 19,000 Ghana cedi prize pool. Like what was going on? And it can't Nightmares probably, or like you said, you want it to be club focused, but is that the plan when it comes to this club focus, is so that the clubs help the GCA to basically get more funding for its tournaments? Is that what the idea is?
Of course. Now, when it comes to this club system I'm talking about, you know, we find ourselves in a situation where GCA or the GCA executive ends up doing work that clubs should be doing. You understand? So our hands are not free enough to actually go out and make presentations. I mean, coach, companies to come on board and stuff. We have a lot of work to do. We don't have an office. We don't have any paid staff. So the day-to-day affairs is still being done by executive, unlike other, federations. You understand? If we have some of these things being catered for, then our hands are free enough to, go around chasing companies and stuff. So I want most of the clubs to emulate, Nightmares, because they've shown it's not an individual thing. They're a team, and that is basically what we should all aspire to actually reach. Clubs can raise money and bring into GCA. At the end of the day, GCA means what? Our collective effort. GCA assembles clubs and individual players. You understand? So if the club brings all the money, at the end of the day, it's still Ghanaian players who will benefit from it. And chess is growing, basically. So I don't have a problem with that at all. I think we should rather pat them on the back for actually bringing in, that level of sponsorship. And I think other clubs should also continue to emulate it. When it comes to the nationals, of course, we've been consistent with the nationals for maybe 9 or so years since chess, was properly established in the country, and we do it irrespective of the situation, because it's very important that it's history that we are making here. It's history that we are making here. It's just like comparing GTV to TV3. You know that, okay, GTV is the national whatever, but you realize that TV3 has more sponsorship, it's more enterprising and all that. So I think it will be a very good blend if we have the private clubs, getting creative, getting enterprising and all that. And it's going to go a long way to have a ripple effect in chess in general, because if somebody comes to sponsor, Nightmares, and then through that he gets to find out, okay, there's a GCA, there's a tournament that's for everybody, then they can also come in and support. So I think we are at the dawn of, great things to come.
Oh, but still, the Nightmares, the Tema Classics was always being dominated by foreigners. I think the first 2 editions, it was only Ghanaians who participated. So we had 2 Ghanaian winners. Immediately foreigners were introduced. They have to win the competitions. And so this year's competition with Edupoku finally ending the foreigner dominance.
Yes.
What do you make about all of that?
Yes, it tells you are making progress. Now, the problem with our progress, or our kind of progress, is that we don't have the same players being consistent. She realized that this player will come up, make the news, get the results, and then something happens in his life, and then he just leaves the scene, and then somebody else comes with a different motivation, and then he also goes, and then something. So you need to look at how to, stabilize the players. We need to look at psychologists coming to talk to the players, how to manage real life with the chess career, manage marriage with chess career, because we've seen people get married and then their chess is gone along with them. So we need to start looking at all these, avenues of, motivating people and making sure that, okay, they're able to manage their private life with the chess. And of course, Edupoku is our national champion. This is the second time.
Two-time national champion.
Yes, this is the second time he's been a national champion. And we are proud to be part of his story. And we are proud of his success. And we want to challenge people that, look, if things are not as rosy as it used to be, they should still, because at the end of the day, chess is an individual sport. Chess has opened doors for me personally, where I had no idea the door was. I was not even interested in the door in the first place, but it just opens. You understand? So let's look at it this way, that you are building a career for yourself, you are building a portfolio for yourself, you are building opportunities for yourself. Our collective difficulties will continue to remain. It will has too much money stopped problems from arising in Black Stars camp?
Not at all.
No. So it's about our unity. You understand? It's about our motivation. All the money can come, and we are disintegrated. How about that? You realize that it's better we try to fight for ourselves. Look, we went for this Olympiad. People were getting millions of dollars for just representing their country. My motherland was not too keen on me going for the Olympiad. We had to struggle. Some of you are not privy to how we managed to get,
Tell us. We want to know.
Of course,
That's the point.
of course, we will say everything at the Congress. We had a timely intervention from the feeding management board, where we also had to, do other obligations to make sure that we get the money to send the team. So let's keep encouraging ourselves. And also you two encourage me. Encourage me, because I'm also doing a thankless job.
Oh yeah, that is very true.
You understand? Moving up and down, juxtaposing your life,
your professional work
exactly with this work. And this work is an everyday job. Nobody should tell you that we work on weekends. Nobody should tell you that. It's an everyday job, especially that we don't have a secretariat that is doing the day-to-day work. It's a whole lot, on
which
us.
is funny, because a friend of mine contacted me about, Leroy, about this chess thing. Where can I locate the GCA? And I was sitting there, I was like, what is the GCA? I was also thinking to myself, where's the GCA? I said, please contact. I actually gave the person your number.
Okay. So you can direct them to the sports stadium. Yeah.
That's where Christy is, isn't she?
Yes.
Oh, Charlie.
So once they get there, they can, whatever information they want, they can get through to us.
I think the person wanted to form a chess club. So after this video, I'll let him know. You need to have 5 people who are paid up members of the GCA. Then you can have a club. Sorry.
No, the thing is, they can have their club without meeting all these requirements, but they're not affiliated to GCA.
Oh, so they can have the club, but they're not affiliated.
Of course.
But they want to be part of it. They want to be
freedom of
official.
association, and I wouldn't like to be an impediment. There's freedom of association. You can form a chess club in your house, wherever.
But if they want to participate in GCA events.
If you want to be part of GCA, they need to meet GCA's standards. Because we also can't just let anybody, without any requirements, be a club.
Yeah.
and go like, okay, this one bringing players for nationals. I mean, we need to set some minimum requirements. And these requirements we set are actually very easy to meet, very, very attainable. So they are rather encouraged to come on board before the level, the bar is raised any further.
All right, so we've come to the end of basically the discussions, the meat and potatoes. But Quincy, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, so basically, I wanted to talk about streaming of tournaments. Like I said, this is a selfish request because me, sometimes the difficulty is getting there. Like sometimes I wish I could actually just go there, take pictures, and quickly escape. But sometimes I'm actually, for example, you like you were saying, my business, I have to move around, right? So I'm actually sometimes unable to do that. So I was hoping.
Yeah, I remember the last time we tried to stream, people just kept on coming behind us. It was so annoying.
That's why we don't do
Oh
that.
yeah, the venue.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that like at least board one would get streamed live, like with the electronic boards, but nothing like that happened. So what are the plans for streaming the games live, Mr. Flynn?
Yeah. So if you quite remember, I think 3 years ago, we purchased five or four electronic boards, and we streamed a number of tournaments live, including I think the zonals. We also streamed the nationals. We streamed the African youth.
Yeah.
Sorry, the African juniors. That's 2019. You know, and but some of the equipment got deteriorated, or some got damaged. Some of the pieces, the system is such that when one piece gets missing, you can't stream the whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yes. So we're actually planning to procure new ones,
okay.
and of course, we are in talks with the management of FIDE to actually help us get some,
Okay.
and especially that we are hosting the All Africa Games. We are going to get minimum 50.
Wow.
So we are going to be very rich soon.
Yes.
Yeah, so very soon we'll distribute some to the clubs.
Wow.
To
And
make
one to us.
Of course. All those who are supporting us will definitely share whatever we have with them. That one, there's no doubt about it.
So one more thing about the electronic boards. Did they get destroyed also by players' hands? Like
Well,
maybe for I have no idea, but maybe for the DGT boards, you have to be more delicate with how you move your pieces. You know, in blade format or when someone is under pressure, then you just start slamming pieces and those kind of things. Do you think that could have also been part of it, or it's not?
yeah, I don't want to go into
Those kind of
that,
things.
but of course, the pieces are sophisticated
Okay.
because there are chips in it, and it's been programmed to sit at a certain place. One thing I noticed was that players were not convinced. I know the DGT boards don't have the demarcations or the coordinates.
Okay.
So players end up swapping white's position for black's position. Some use pen to write wrongly the numbers and the letters on it, and we'll just appeal to the players that once we get the new consignment, they should actually
Be careful.
do their best to take care of it. When you go to Olympiad, nobody checks, nobody writes A, B, C, D. I mean, we are not kids.
It's the white at the corner, right? Is it white at the corner?
Lower left,
Lower left.
lower right corner is white.
It's white, yeah.
That's all you need to remember, and then you can play. And players should actually take it as an opportunity to learn. Because I mean, of course, I've played in the Olympiad, but me too, it was my first time playing on the chessboard without coordinates, and I had to, figure it out. So we challenge the other players to figure it out because the top players don't use coordinates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's actually more impressive for them now. Okay, so that's it.
So time for the trivia section.
I'm gonna win. Please, what's the prize fund?
A pat on the back.
Pat on the back. A pat on the back.
Oh, nice one. So,
This is going to basically be on Africa Chess, Tema Classics, and the Nationals.
And one intermediate question for
And
me.
this boy is
Enupoku said something,
crazy
and I want to prove
chess
him
questions.
Wrong. Enupoku said something, I want to prove him wrong. So,
Okay, so the first question I'm going to ask is for you to name all the winners of the Tema Classics from start to finish.
So how do we grade this?
If he gets 5 correct,
It's a point.
I will consider it a correct answer.
Okay, I see.
In
How many
order,
winners are there?
there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No, there can't be 8.
Tema
They were
Classics.
top 5 that they awarded. They awarded top 5.
Okay, so who was first?
Oh, you are talking about? Oh no, I'm talking about just the champion of each year.
Oh,
That's the champion of each year.
Of each year.
Yes. So 20.
But that's too much for only Tema. I mean,
Okay, fine.
You can ask
He has
me.
raised the bar because you are the president. That's
I've
why.
raised the bar. That is why.
No.
I'm being cruel. Okay,
I can
fine.
rack my brain.
Okay,
but
fine. I'm going to change the question then. The Tema Classics has had 8 winners, 3 of which are Ghanaian. I'm sure you know the Ghanaians by heart, so I'm not going to ask you to mention the Ghanaians. There have been 1, 2, 3, 4 Nigerian winners and 1 Togolese winner. Who is the Togolese winner?
Of course, CM Noel Fume, Enyonam.
Enunams Fumi. All right, correct. I already asked the
Exact same question.
yes,
Okay.
yes, but he got it right. Okay, second question for Tema Classics as well. The Tema Classics has been active on a yearly basis, but there was one year the Tema Classics didn't take place. Which year was it?
I think 2020.
Wrong.
Nothing happened in 2020.
Wrong. The 2020 champion was
COVID?
the 2020 champion was
The COVID
Austin
was after
Api.
match of
Apemi.
Yes. So that is wrong.
When did it happen?
2018.
2018.
Yes. So 2015 Lionel, 2016 Eric Akwanda. Let me mention the titles. CM Lionel. I am Eric Akwanda. CM Sewa Enyonyam Fumi. 2019 Edu. I am Edu Olad. I'm tired of
You're struggling.
the this thing.
So we have
So-
1 out of 2.
Yes, he's had 1 out of 2. Third question, I'm going to the nationals now. 2016, who was the champion of the nationals?
2016.
Yes.
Hasford.
Wrong. Lionel. CM Lionel.
Oh my gosh, Olympiad year.
Yeah. So that's 1 out of 3. So
All right, who was the... sorry. Next question. Who was the
thought it was
champion?
it's 3. It's just 3. It's just
Oh, just 3.
three.
How many have
You
asked?
said 3.
Which one did I ask?
You asked the name of the Togolese winner. You asked which year was exempted, and you asked 2016
Oh,
winner.
I wanted to ask the last one.
So now my question, Erupoku
Okay.
says that he doesn't believe that this is a simple question, but I believe every chess player should know this. I believe. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in the popular Game 6 match between Bobby Fischer and Spassky, I hope you remember that game.
I wasn't there.
None of us were there.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
What opening did they transpose to? Not the main opening that it was started, but what opening did they transpose into? That's the question.
Which game? Game number
Game
what?
6, the famous game. The famous game. It was named, I think,
King's Indian, no?
King's Indian.
Indian.
It's an Indian, but it's not a King's Indian, nor is it a Queen's. It's
Why you got me the answer wrong? You are giving him
no,
chance.
I want to see if you still get it. If you get
Okay,
it,
fine.
the point is to prove Enupoku wrong.
You can't.
Oh, no,
You
no.
haven't.
Okay, so a hint is
Honestly, okay.
Bobby Fischer did not start with his patented E4 opening, nor did he play the D4 opening. He played a different opening.
He keeps giving him.
I keep
The question he
I
claims
want you to get
is easy.
I want you
Retty.
to It was the Queen's Gambit decline.
Are you fine?
C4. He started with C.
I know that with C4.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, C4 and F3. So as I said, Retty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Why?
No,
is
but-
it-
Oh,
This guy thinks that is a simple question.
Spassky was black.
Black, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he transposed it to a Queen's Gambit decline.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
You see?
But it was not simple.
No. Honestly, I don't know who else can get this question. I mean, this.
He's such a nerd.
No, we all had our favorite players.
Okay.
If you had asked me about, let's say, Kasparov,
Okay.
you know, I love
Ask him
Kasparov a
about the
lot.
question about Kasparov.
Okay. In which game does Kasparov? Okay, let me. I remember the.
You're asking me too many questions.
Two more simple questions. Okay.
No. I'm not a professional, but don't take me into what
Questions are done. The questions are done.
You can ask a general knowledge question like, oh, who was the world champion? Who was the African champion? I mean, those questions.
You know what? I'm cancelling his question. I'm cancelling his question.
Chess codes. No, my answer not scoring.
Chess codes.
Okay. Chess codes. It's a popular. I think it's famous. Okay. Which chess player said, "You have to send your opponent into the deep dark forest where
Mikhail's house.
You see.
2 + 2 + 5. That's
The way
Mikhail's
it's only
house.
wide enough for one.
Mikhail's
You
house.
see. Okay, my questions are simple, but I don't know. Okay,
He says they are
No, you
simple.
see, how I learned my chess, it's like openings got me to players. You understand?
Yeah.
So it was through, for example, King's Indian that I met Kasparov.
Yeah.
I wasn't going around learning chess history. You understand? Now, E4 got me to like Fischer.
Bobby Fischer, yeah.
That's how I got to know his games. You understand? I've not read my memorable 60 games. I'm yet to read it.
Or Bobby Fischer teaches chess.
Exactly. I read part of that, but because the notation was the old
Yeah.
notation, I just read halfway and
Rook
then
pawn to B1.
yeah, I just read halfway and I stopped.
Okay.
Yeah, but basically, whatever I'm learning, if there's a certain player that mastered it, like at the point, I loved the Queen's Gambit, the Knight off, and then I was directed to Kasparov. And then I loved the Caro-Kann at the point I was directed to Karpov.
Yeah. Couple. Yeah.
King's Indian, I was directed to Fischer.
Nakamura.
Not-
He's no longer known for the. If I used to play
Yes.
the King's Indian primarily for
Yes.
something.
Then the romantic chess, I got that from Bobby Fischer.
Oh, okay.
So that's how I got to know those players.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so guys, that's how we bring an end to this. So still, this is the second episode, and we still have our champion being Dr.
Edupuku with
Edupuku
0.5.
with 1.5. You got only one.
So how do you get a 0.5?
He gave half
You
an
gave
answer.
half the answer.
I'm also giving like half.
Which one did you give half? Which one did you give half?
That was my questions. Edupuku's questions.
So anyway, the Tema question was tricky because everybody thought COVID, nothing happened.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I picked 2020. Yeah.
But don't worry. Next,
Yeah, no,
next
it's
is
fine. Since there's no prize money, I wasn't motivated.
The next on our agenda is Maxwell
Maxwell and then
uh,
Nightmares.
and what's his name? Ambrose.
Ambrose.
So
Let's see who next can beat. Maybe who knows? Maybe some people might guess the room.
No, but why are you asking about nightmares questions? I'm not a club member.
oh really?
Yeah, I mean,
It's a tournament accredited by the GCA.
no. If you ask,
Okay.
because now you focus on one club, there are other clubs. You understand? There are other
Yes.
clubs. There's
Yes.
President's Cup.
I decided to focus on Nightmares because their
The most
tournaments
recent,
just
yeah.
ended.
Just ended.
Yeah, that's why I decided to focus on Nightmares.
Anyway. So when Ambrose comes, that's easy for him.
That's I'm not asking you anything Nightmares
When
related.
Ambrose comes left, my question is going to be what opening did Edupuku use to win the tournament?
Actually, I forgot I was only limited. I limited myself to 3 questions because I wanted to ask you 1 Nightmares, 1 Nationals, and 1 Africa. The
That would
African
have been a
question.
very good.
The African question I was going to ask you was what's it called?
So replace that question so that I pass. it.
Okay, fine. I've already asked 1 Nightmares, 1 Nationals. I'm canceling 1 Nightmares question. The last question I'm going to ask
Exactly.
is the 2022 Africa Chess Championships. Who was the champion?
2022.
2022.
2022 in Malawi.
Yes,
Oh.
2022.
Was it Malawi?
Yeah, it was in Malawi. If I'm not mistaken, it should have been in Malawi.
2022.
Yes, Africa Chess Championships. Who won?
Okay, it's an Egyptian by all means.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. The Nigerians have won 14.
Yeah.
And the second place is, I believe,
Bassem.
Wow.
Bassem. Yes, I am
I
Bassem.
mean Bassem, yeah.
Yes, I am Bassem one. So he's gotten the
That's
2.
right.
So he's gotten 2 out of 3.
I think we should divide it to half.
We should divide it to our
No, the thing is, the question should cut across.
Yeah, it's true.
I get
Yeah.
So if you focus too much on,
One.
No, but true. That's my plan.
you
That's
have
my
even
plan.
done the
But I forgot.
President's Cup, Zonal or something.
Yeah. Honestly, the fact of the matter was, I said to myself, nationals just happened and Tema Classic just happened.
Right?
So I'm going to focus on those 2.
You should have focused on the one that just happened, not the one that didn't happen.
So I'm like, the next tournament I believe is the Accra
Classic.
Classic. That one happened just last year. What am I going to ask? I'm not going to ask you anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me just focus on the Tema Classics and the nationals.
Okay.
So that was my idea. But I intentionally picked one question from the Africa Chess Championships because I was like, nah.
This is on the record.
Oh yeah, I know it's all on the record.
So-
why am I afraid of people knowing what my thought process was for picking the questions for the
Giving them
trivia?
all hints.
Oh yeah, Ambrose is coming. Oh, but Ambrose, if you come, you should know that.
No, just make it
I'm not going to ask
one
you anything.
local, one
Yeah.
continental, one world.
No. This channel is all about Africa.
But you asked me
Ghana.
about world, Bob Fischer and
That's
things.
my question.
That is his question.
that's your
It doesn't
question.
count. His questions don't count. His questions
Oh,
don't
let's
count.
go.
He just asked it because he wants to prove was Enupoku wrong.
And I mean, he said, how would anybody know this? I'm saying, like,
No, honestly, you see, our generation, or let me say the older generation of players, had different players we were looking up to.
okay.
Our current crop of players, the first that they get to know is
Magnus Carlsen.
not even Magnus Carlsen, Eric Rosen.
Eric Rosen.
That's the first chess player they know
Respect
in their life.
No,
Not that, but he's out there.
I get you, yeah.
You understand? Gotham Chess, Eric Rosen, and then they keep talking about Magnus Carlsen. So that's how they encounter Magnus Carlsen. And then Nakamura.
Yeah.
So they'll never hear of Kasparov, they'll hear of Karpov,
Yeah.
I mean, Taimanov, all those guys, they'll never hear of them.
Yeah.
That's the system in which we are.
Okay.
Anyways, guys, so that is how we wrap up the second episode of Talking Chess, a PMChess podcast with me, Leroy Hodgson, the pen of Pen Mason, and
You know, I am never.
I did this last time, and you are doing it again this time.
You see, I'm monitoring the system. Okay, and I'm missing once again. Don't worry, the third episode, I won't miss it. Okay, so
And again, our guest has been the president of the Ghana Chess Association. We thank him so much for being here and helping us understand how the GCA, what happened during the nationals and the Tema Classics, as well as how the clubs operate, as well as future plans for Ghana Chess as well. So thank you so much for your time. And
Thank you for having me.
yeah, we will definitely bring you on again next time.
in a bigger, better studio than
So that
this.
you try and get 3 out of 3.
No, I want to be part of your humble beginnings. So if you can't reach, you remember me.
Alright, so guys, thank you so much for your time and peace.